Everybody, it's Trent Deersmith here. Thank you so much for joining me again today for another episode of the Bright Ideas podcast. I am here to help you to discover what is working in e-commerce today by bringing on experts to share with me their specific body of knowledge and in such a way so that you can put it into action in your business today. And that is exactly what we're going to do. My guest is the Chief Marketing Officer for a company called Ahrefs, and his name is Tim Soulo, kind of like Han Solo. And he has almost 10 years of practical experience in SEO and digital marketing, and eagerly shares his knowledge by giving live talks at various digital marketing conferences and doing podcasts like this. So Tim and I were just talking about, what are we going to do this episode about? Because it's not your typical hero's journey type story. And he said, well, I love to talk about SEO. And I immediately said, well, Tim, SEO it's too technical for me. I don't know how to do it. I'm sure I'm way late to the party and I'm never going to get any results. I'll bet you most marketers think about it in that way. And right then I realized, well, we need to talk about SEO because Tim did not agree with my conclusions and thinks that it is not as difficult as it is, and it is possible for folks like me, and I'm not too late to the party. So if you have an e-commerce store and you are not getting as much organic traffic as you would like to get to that store, get out your pen and paper or whatever way you like to take notes, because we're going to do a knowledge dump. So Tim, thank you very much. Welcome to the show.
Hey Trent, thanks a lot for having me. And I think that is an amazing setup for the show. And I'm sure the listeners are already eager to learn a thing or two about SEO.
Well, I know I am. So let's dive into my objections one at a time.
Yeah, actually, you're not the only person who has those objections. Like a lot of people say more or less the same things. Maybe not in the same order as you did, but yeah, just recently, like a few months ago, I was giving a small talk here at Singapore in the National University of Singapore. I was talking to a group of MBA students. They were doing a digital project, so they were setting up their website online. They were validating their idea, trying to get traffic, etc., etc. So I asked them how many of them are using SEO to bring traffic to their websites, to validate their business idea, to make the first sales, etc., etc. No one raised their hands, and it was like a group of maybe 20 students. So I asked them why, like how come they want to do like AdWords, they want to do Facebook traffic, but not SEO, which is almost free traffic actually, and free perpetual traffic to their website. This is a great channel, targeted traffic. And like one of the guys said, like SEO is too technical. To which I was, what? Like you're MBA students and you tell me that you're afraid of technical things, but it's not even like SEO is not even that technical to be afraid of it. Like I'm not a technical person myself, and I'm quite successful at SEO, and I know a ton of people who can barely do some simple stuff in Excel, but they still get a ton of search traffic. So yeah, the first objection, it is super easy to address. SEO is not technical. There are a ton of people who make money online, create their businesses based on SEO without any special technical knowledge. The basics are very, very simple.
So we'll dive into those in a minute, but I want to hit you with another objection, and that is, hey, Google's been around forever. There's a million articles, and I'm sure there's lots of SEO smart people out there, and they're already targeting all those phrases. And I'm just, I've got my store and I'm starting now and I'm selling, whatever kind of widgets. How on earth am I going to possibly, I got to outrank somebody, because if I'm on page 2, it does no good. I really much need to be on page 1. Do I have to go for these really obscure long tail keywords that are so far down there that there's no search volume, and why do I even want to bother? Like, that's what I think when I think about SEO.
Yeah, I can easily relate to that because when I just joined Ahrefs as a chief marketing officer, I was actually the only marketing person in the team of I think 17 people, and like Ahrefs is an SEO tool. So we're up against other SEO tools, which means that to get search traffic, we have to compete with the most knowledgeable with the most experienced SEO people in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
I was in like, and I didn't even consider myself like an experienced SEO. I wasn't known for like my SEO knowledge. I didn't have much experience in SEO, and I was up against people who were creating, building, and promoting SEO tools and had a lot of SEO knowledge. And still, in those like circumstances, we were able to like grow our blog. Back when I joined, we were getting 15,000 visitors per month from Google alone. Right now, we get over 250,000 visitors, and that's like 4 years later. But still, that's a growth of almost 20 times right there, and we're still growing. So, if I was able to compete against the best SEO people in the world and still like find enough opportunity to grow our business, to get search traffic to our website, then people who are listening, I'm sure that their competition is not as advanced as my competition was back in the days. So there's a ton of opportunity. Think about it. Uh, it is unlikely that any one of your competitors have covered every single search that people are making online in relation to their business. So there should be an opportunity. Other than that, probably the searches, the topics, the blog post ideas or whatever that they have covered like 2 or 3 years ago have become outdated. So
Mm-hmm.
Google would rather rank a fresh article other than some old article. So there's an opportunity right there. And other than that, every single month, every single year, new trends emerge, new products appear. So people start searching for entirely new things. So you can just, if you weren't the first to cover some things that have been around for a while, you can be the first to cover some things that just appeared today. So there's a lot of opportunity, and you can look at it from different angles and still win.
So let's take the gloves off then and dive down into the weeds. And I think maybe, if it's okay with you, I'd like to use my blog as
Okay.
a guinea pig for this conversation. And the reason for that, A, I've never paid any attention to SEO. B, I did recently decide as an experiment, and I've not really talked about it much on the blog, I hired a writer to write me an article, a long one, to target the phrase how to sell on Amazon. Because I looked at the search results that were there. I looked at the domain authority of those sites, and it didn't seem to me like I was going to be competing against, major media properties for that particular phrase. So I thought, well, maybe I have a chance. And so we wrote a really good article. We divided it into 3 parts because someone that I'd talked to, who I'd interviewed on my show, a fellow by the name of Daniel Danes Hutt, who runs an organization called Amplify My Content. It was his advice to break it up into three parts. So we did that. And that's kind of where we're at so far. I haven't had the time to do much with it other than try and make sure the on-page SEO, which I know very little about, is good. And it's a great article that has a ton of really valuable information for humans. So having set the stage with that, what would you, if you were consulting with me on how to get that article to rank well, where would we start?
Okay, so you have set the stage, but I'm afraid I'll have to break it into pieces. I have to
Sure.
cover it because like there are a lot of mistakes that you did there already.
Damn.
And
Okay.
and a lot of these mistakes, they aren't really like SEO, and they are not technical at all. So stick with me.
Okay.
The first mistake that you did is that you hired someone to write that article.
Okay.
It is like a mistake right there, and I'm going to explain why. Google, their job is to give people the best possible search result. And people want to learn from authorities. They want to learn from people with deep knowledge, with expertise, etc., etc. So whenever they land on an article, they need to understand why they should care about the article, why some random person would teach them about something. So as soon as you outsource your content to someone else, that person is not the most knowledgeable person about the topic. You are the most knowledgeable person about the topic you want to write about.
But
You
their
have
name,
your own.
wait a minute, their name's not on the article. Mine is.
Still, like, the quality of that article won't be as high as if you wrote it yourself, because you have your first, or like you could work with them super close and invest a lot of your time, but that's almost the same as writing the article yourself. So in our case, in the case of Hrefs blog, I'm chief marketing officer at Hrefs. I'm a product advisor of Hrefs. I manage people, I hire people, I work on the project, but at the same time, my name is on a lot of articles that we have published on our blog. So I have a lot of experience in the field. And other than implementing my experience to grow Hrefs, to train the team, etc., I actually produce content because I understand that my knowledge is what people will enjoy reading, and my knowledge is what will bring us links. My knowledge is what will make people read the article from start till the end, which Google can see. And like in total, it is my knowledge that will help our article to rank in Google. So as soon as people try to take shortcuts, as soon as they try to hire a copywriter, quote unquote, like go on Upwork and look for someone almost totally random, give them a topic and wait for them to create an article, like everyone else is doing that. So like,
so I didn't do that. I didn't do that in this case. This particular writer is actually married to a friend of mine who runs a business like mine. So she had a much higher than normal level of knowledge about how to sell on Amazon. And honestly, I think the article's better than if I'd written it myself.
Okay. That might cut it, actually.
Okay.
But I'm talking generally.
Sure.
A lot of people, when they think about SEO and when they think about creating content, they just go to Upwork, they go to ProBlogger/jobs, they look for copywriter to write about X, they hire someone, pay that person like, I don't know, $200 to produce a piece of content, publish it, and hope for it to rank. But think about it, like if 5 of your competitors will go to Upwork or ProBlogger, find a copywriter, publish an article on a given topic, there's actually a chance that the same person will write a few of these articles for different people because they are a writer in that niche. So these articles won't be unique in any way. So you have to be writing those articles yourself. These articles should have your own unique first-hand experience, because again, what a lot of people do, or a lot of copywriters, what they do, they search for a topic that they need to cover. They open top 10 ranking pages in Google for that topic. They read them, they learn what's there, and then they create an article which is basically a rewritten copy of what's already ranking there. There is no value in that. So whenever people are searching for a certain topic, they would land on the first article, on the second article, they will see that these articles are the same and they won't go any deeper. So you have to offer something unique. If you don't do this, nothing will work. So the first SEO advice, which is not even an SEO advice, if you want to attract visitors, if you want to attract views, if you want to attract links to your website, you have to produce original content, and this is something you can only do if you share your own personal experience. Does this make sense?
It does make sense. It's surprising to me that Google is actually smart enough to determine whether this particular article was written by me or a hired writer. Like, that just doesn't seem possible to me.
It's not Google. Actually, we'll get to it later down the episode. There are clues that they get. But one thing for sure is that Google can see how long people stick on a page.
Yes.
So if people click on the search result and they quickly go back to the search results and click on something else, Google knows it, and Google can see that the article didn't satisfy people. So, and we're getting to a second point that I wanted to discuss about what I think you did wrong, and that is, you said that you wrote a long article. It is a 3-part article, etc., etc., etc. So, what you did there, you said, you kind of hinted people that long means good, which is not necessarily the case. And actually, like I just said, Google can figure out how people behave after clicking on a certain search result. So whenever they click on an article, they see that it's super long. They might put it for later, but then they will click search result number 2, check it out, and it seems shorter. It has a few images, so it seems digestible, like easy to read. So they will stick with it, and Google will see, okay, so people prefer this article to the article that was outranking it, so I'll switch them, and that shorter article will now rank. But at the same time, I'm not trying to say that shorter articles are better because people will prefer reading shorter articles. The actual answer is it depends. You should not think about the length of your article. You should not think about the depth of your article. You should think about satisfying readers. So, for example, what we do at Ahrefs, and we put a lot of thought there every time we publish an article. In the introduction, in the very first few paragraphs of the article, our job is to persuade people to stay. We try to pitch them our article. We try to sell it to them. We try to make them stay. So within the first few paragraphs, we try to explain people what's unique and what's awesome, what's outstanding about our article, what they're going to read, so that they would stay. And from there, you should define what kind of length would be enough for you to deliver your ideas, your points, to teach people whatever they wanted to learn, without putting too much text on the page. So I think it was Saint-Exupéry who said that perfection is achieved not when there's nothing more to add, but when there's nothing left to take away. So this is how you should write articles. They should be as short as possible while having all the information you need to teach people. So yeah, and basically so far we're discussing the basics of creating great content. The first one was that you have to use your personal experience, unique experience. You have to use your knowledge that no one else has as the core of the article, that what's in it for people. And the second, you have to learn to write well. You have to learn copywriting. You have to learn to persuade people to keep reading, to stay. And don't think that longer article is a better article. Think about the perfect length for teaching people what you wanted to teach them.
So in this particular example that we're talking about, choosing this phrase, so let's talk about the phrase first. Was there anything, this phrase, how to sell on Amazon, because it's a phrase I would like to rank for.
Yeah.
Was there mistakes made in choosing that phrase? Is that too much of a head phrase? Because again, I don't even know that.
Yeah. Let's discuss the keyword research, which means choosing a phrase from the start. So basically, the mistake that a lot of people who are creating content or who are running blogs or even who have e-commerce websites, the big mistake that they're making is that they're not studying what people are actually searching for. So what you did right there is that you actually studied a phrase, a topic, how to sell on Amazon. You use the keyword research tool of your choice. There are some free ones, there are some paid ones. So whenever you put the keyword that you have in mind into a keyword research tool, it will show you how many people per month, how many searches per month are around the world happen for that keyword. So for how to sell on Amazon, I'm sure there are like thousands and thousands of people searching for that thing. So you did research the search demand, and you know that if you publish an article on that topic and rank for it, you're going to get a lot of clicks. A lot of people don't do that. If you go to the blogs of a lot of people, a lot of businesses, their topics are just random. And if you try to use keyword research tool to see if the topics that they were targeting have any search demand, a lot of them don't. So a lot of people publish what they call opinion pieces. Like, here's what our company thinks about, I don't know, Brexit or whatever. So people don't search for what your company thinks about Brexit, or they don't search for your latest corporate event or whatever. People search for problems related to your industry. So the first rule of SEO is you need to do keyword research. You need to use a keyword research tool to see what people are searching for as related to your industry. Like if you have a Shopify site and you might be selling snowboards, in terms of informational content, what people might be searching for is how to pick the right snowboard size. So if you can create a good piece of content for that, you're going to get a ton of visitors who are looking for the right snowboard size for their weight, for their height, etc., etc. And from that page, you'll be able to funnel people towards your product. So yeah, keyword research is essential. But we've only discussed the search volume so far, but what you also said is that there's competition. So not only you need to know how many people, how many searches happen for that keyword per month, you should actually know who you're up against. And you only mentioned the so-called domain authority, which means on the surface level how big and popular the domain or the website is. Usually it is measured by the amount of backlinks from other websites. So if we have 3 websites, the first website doesn't have any backlinks at all from other websites. The second website have backlinks from 100 other websites, and the third one has backlinks from thousands of websites. It is clear which one is the most powerful, because if 1,000 other websites have linked to your website, it means it is powerful. It means there's something unique about it. It means there's something of value in it. And that's pretty much how Google works, how Google figures out what kind of content, which pages should rank at the top and which should rank at the bottom. Because like you said in the beginning of the episode, people around the world have created content for almost any imaginable topic out there. And each topic has been covered hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands, and sometimes hundreds of thousands of times. So how does Google know out of hundreds of thousands of similar pages on the same topic, how does Google know which page has more authority? Because like you said, an algorithm, they cannot really figure out if there's any knowledge or if there's any expertise of behind a certain piece of content. So they use links. They look if other websites are linking to that piece of content, like by giving their votes. So if other websites are referring their visitors, their readers to that piece of content, it means there's something valuable about it. And that's essentially how Google's ranks pages in a general sense. So there are a lot of other bells and whistles. So it's not as straightforward as getting more links than your competition. But on the surface level, you have to get more links than your competition. And this actually comes from the scientific field. So when Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the creators of Google, were figuring out how to make the search engine that would be able to find the best possible content, they looked at how the scientific research papers, their influence is measured. And the influence of a scientific paper was measured by how many other scientific papers were referencing it. So they took this concept from scientific research papers and took it to internet, and they created PageRank and they created Google. So yeah, you have to get links to your piece of content. And this brings us back to creating an amazing piece of content. Because think about it, if your article doesn't offer anything unique about the article that's already there, people have no intention, people have no reason to link to it. But as soon as you offer your unique experience, your unique knowledge, your unique experiments, your unique numbers, people now, like it becomes notable. People want to reference it, people want to link to it, people want to send their readers to it because article is unique in some way. Think about the next thing, what I said about article not being long enough or not being super short, but being just perfect and using the right kind of copywriting tricks and copywriting skills to keep people reading. Because if a person won't read your article, they don't know what is there, so they won't link to it. So first, people have to actually read your article, to like it, to enjoy it, and to later link to it and refer other people. So this is how creating amazing content transitions into links from other websites, which Google sees as authority of your page. Does this make sense?
It makes total sense so far. Yep.
Yeah. So in terms of competition, you have to look at the authority of a domain. So how popular domain is, how many other websites are linking to a domain, or like what kind of domain authority. This is a metric that comes from a tool called Moz, or domain rank. This is a metric that comes from Ahrefs. So what's that metric? How high is it? Because you'll be against these websites. But you also need to look at how many backlinks are pointing to the actual pages that rank for your desired keyword. So the more and you need to use a backlink checker tool. Ahrefs has a backlink checker tool. Moz has a backlink checker tool. SEMrush has a backlink checker tool. But of course, Ahrefs is preferable because I come from Ahrefs. So yeah, you need to check. You need to check how many backlinks are pointing to these pages, and your goal is to build more backlinks to your page. And you'll find it super hard to build backlinks if your content is so-so. If it's not amazing, if it's not unique, people will be super reluctant to link to it. But if your content is outstanding, if it looks better, if it has more unique ideas than your competition, you'll find it quite easy, even reaching out to people who are already linking to pages that rank on top, reaching out to them and showing your piece of content and explaining them why the piece of content that you have created is like 10 times better and 10 times more valuable than other pages that they have linked to from their websites already. You might get links from them as well. So next time they will write an article about the topic, they would rather reference your piece of content than the piece of content they previously linked to, because your piece of content is better. So competition actually means nothing if you are convinced that you can create objectively better piece of content that would be like 10 times better than what's already there. And by 10 times better, again, I'm not saying longer. I'm not saying that you have to like read everything on the topic and squeeze it all into a huge guide, but simply provide more value to people, amaze people, and make people want to send the link to their friends or link to that piece of content from their websites.
So how do you, I've got your tool up on my left screen here, and I looked at the Keyword Explorer and I typed in how to sell on Amazon.
Yes.
Keyword difficulty of 40. It says I need somewhere around 56 websites to link to me to rank in the top 10. There's 58,000 searches a month. So at the front end of the process, when someone is deciding of all the things related to my topic I could write about, and they're doing this keyword research, you know, some battles are going to be easier to win than others, and some battles are going to have greater rewards than others. How do you figure, we can dive into some specifics of how Ahrefs helps me to solve this problem. So can you walk me through that?
Yeah. It's actually quite interesting because usually the keywords that bring you more reward, the keywords that will convert better, the keywords that will send more traffic, are usually the keywords that are harder to rank because a lot of people pursue them.
Yeah.
At the same time, the keywords that are easier to rank, for the keywords that will send you less customers, are easier to rank for. So like it's quite logical, because if the keyword has a lot of money in it, people will pursue it, so it will be hard for you to outrank these people. So usually whenever you read an SEO article about keyword research or like picking the right topics, people will tend to suggest you to look for low-hanging fruit. So you have to look for keywords that promise you a lot of traffic, that convert well, but at the same time are easy to rank for. Well, I'm afraid this is such a rare occasion that like you shouldn't be actually looking for low-hanging keywords. You should be targeting keywords that are essential to your business. So in our case, in the case of Ahrefs blog, we have some pretty strong keywords. For example, keyword research. If you search for keyword research, I don't think we're on page 1, our blog article on page 1. If you search for link building, I also think I think we were for keyword research in top 5, but I think we lost that position. I'm not sure like what's the situation right now. For link building, which is also essential for our business, we're not in top 10 for sure. Are you checking that?
You're on the first page.
On the first page for keyword research, right?
For link building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th.
Okay, 10th. That's pretty much ranking nowhere. So my point is, these are super competitive keywords. And the fact that there's a lot of competition and the fact that we struggle to rank there doesn't mean that we don't want to pursue them. So our strategy, we're going to update these articles on keyword research, on link building. We're going to build more links to these articles, so we're going to reach out to more and more people and show them how our content is better and why they should link to it from their websites. So we're going to do that again and again. We're going to make our articles better. We're going to reach out to more people. We're going to write some of our own guest articles linking to our posts until we rank. So a lot of people think about creating content and ranking it at Google as like a one-off thing. You write your article once, you do a little bit of promotion, so you send it to your list, you do some Facebook ads, you reach out to a few people in your industry hoping that they will link to it, and that's it, you move on to another article. So usually with the most, with the highest business potential topics that have a lot of traffic and that will bring you a lot of customers, you won't be able to rank as easily. So like I just explained, our strategy is to go back to those articles that didn't rank, update them, find ways, create some unique experiments, run some data studies, ask experts, etc., like create some unique illustrations, anything we can do to make our article better, to make people stick, to make people enjoy it, and to make people link to it from other websites, we'll do it. And we'll update the article again and again, and we'll reach out to more and more people and tell them about our article until we'll get to the top. So this is the process, and there's nothing easy about it. There's nothing low-hanging fruit about it. It's just putting in hard work and gradually creating the best piece of content and gradually building as many links as you can.
So with that in mind, would it make more sense for me to say, and when I say me, I mean the royal we, anybody who's in this situation, I could go and identify, say, 20 keywords that could be 20 articles and literally never write any more than 20 articles, but treat those articles like a piece of software where every single week I'm looking for ways to update those articles, to add more value, to put results of experiments or interview clips. And I never, ever write a 21st article, ever. I stick with my 20 and I'm continually improving and promoting those articles. Is that the strategy that you're advocating versus I'm going to write 300 articles a week and just pump them out like a conveyor belt?
Exactly. This is amazing that you said that. And I'm breaking between, are you so smart to figure it out as I was talking, or were I so good in explaining these things that you figured it out? So the thing is, first of all, when you analyze anyone's website, like Ahrefs helps you to see which pages are bringing the most traffic to a given website from search. So if you plug any website to Ahrefs and look at their top pages that are bringing them the most search traffic, you'll see that pretty much the famous Pareto principle applies almost everywhere. So 20% of pages, usually more or less, are bringing them 80% of their traffic. So what you said there makes perfect sense. And this is more or less the strategy that we pursue with Ahrefs. We don't create a lot of new content because we update our content so much. So we want to rank with a few topics, but we want to rank well for them. The other day, one of my coworkers asked me, like, Tim, we're mostly targeting topics that are super related to our business, super related to SEO, but we're running out of them. Should we go for like more general topics? So right now we're teaching people, we have articles about SEO audit, link building, keyword research, keyword difficulty, etc., etc. The things that are highly related to SEO, the things that are highly related to our business, where we can kind of convert people to users of our tool. So he said that we're running out of these topics. There are just like about 100 or 150 of them, not more. And he says, maybe we should go more general. Maybe we should talk about growth hacking, online marketing, digital marketing, maybe Facebook ads, Instagram ads, etc., etc. And I said, yeah, it is true that we're running out of those topics that we should be covering on our blog because of how related they are to our business. But are we ranking number one for them? So I'd rather push those topics more. I'd rather keep updating those articles and keep promoting those articles to make sure that all of our articles rank number one and get as much search traffic as possible, than creating articles on topics that are not so relevant to our business. So yeah, like if you don't have a lot of resources, like some like super huge companies do, you should stick with just a few articles. And like case in point, there's a guy whose name is Brian Dean, website backlinko.com. I think he has less than 40 articles on his blog in total, maybe 35 or something like this. And his website is $1 million business. So he's making millions out of his business out of just like 35 or 40 articles. So it is the right strategy, other than trying to spread yourself too thin and publish more and more and more articles, which don't even end up ranking in Google. You'd rather focus on just a few articles, nail them, and monetize them like to their highest potential.
So how does, let's say that we're going to go down the road of I'm going to do 20 articles and I'm going to spend the next 2 years or 3 years making those the best articles for their topics on the web.
Yeah.
I got to choose my 20. And being as I'm only choosing 20, I really don't want to make any mistakes in the selection of those 20. How do we go about doing that in a systematic way so as to minimize the risk of just going down a road that we're never going to win?
This is a great question. And here at Ahrefs, we like in our marketing department, we have, we use a concept that we call business potential. So basically every topic that we considering to cover on our blog, we'll think if the topic will be able to convert readers into customers of Ahrefs, because we're a business, we need to make money, we need to attract customers to our tool set. We cannot just write content just for the sake of traffic. So traffic numbers mean nothing to us. We can be getting like hundreds of thousands of visitors per month, but if those visitors don't convert into subscribers of our tool, what's the point? And actually, right here, I'm always making fun of a company called HubSpot. They are one of the biggest brands in internet marketing niche. They have a CRM and marketing tool.
Oh, I know them well.
Yeah, so HubSpot. They have a huge blog with like thousands and thousands of articles. But when I took their blog and pasted it to Ahrefs to see what kind of articles are bringing them the most traffic, their number one article that sends them 100,000 visitors per search per month, that's 100,000 visitors per month from a single article. It's how to make a GIF image. The article is a tutorial how to make a GIF image. So think about it. What kind of like buyer's journey, what kind of customer journey a person should take from Googling, for searching in Google how to make a GIF or GIF, like whatever you prefer, how to make a GIF image, into purchasing, into becoming a customer of marketing CRM software. Yeah, it's almost no chance. Yeah, of course, they have like lead scoring, they have sales teams, they have lead nurturing sequences, etc., etc. But still, the searcher intent, what a person is looking for and what they want to offer is too far away. So in our case at Ahrefs, we have this kind of made-up metric, business potential, and it's a simple score from 0 to a 3, where 3 means that your tool, your service, or your product, whatever you're selling, is an irreplaceable solution for whatever people were searching for. So if people were searching for keyword research, we know that Ahrefs has an amazing tool for keyword research, and we have some functionality that no other tool in the market has. So we can easily sell people within our article. So while reading the article, we'll show people some use cases that they cannot achieve anywhere else other than using our tool. So this is business potential of 3, where we're confident that we can pitch our tool in a way that there's no way to do this other than by buying our tool. Business potential of 2 means that we can like showcase our tool, we can pitch it, but there are other ways to do it. So people might use other tools or might even not use any tool at all, like do it by themselves. Business potential 1 means that you can only mention that you have a relevant tool, but it's not essential for solving the topic. So it's relevant, you can mention it, but people won't buy it because they were reading an article about something else. And obviously, business potential of 0 means that there's no chance to even mention your tool, your business within the article. So here at Ahrefs, we try to only target topics that have business potential 3 or 2. So either our product is irreplaceable and we can pitch some use cases, some examples, some features that people cannot find anywhere else, or we can pitch some amazing use cases that people can find anywhere else, but they rather would purchase our tool because they just learned how to use our tool. So this is how you pick the few topics that you have to pursue. Think about your products, what you're selling. Are you selling physical products? Are you selling info products? How are you going to sell? How are you going to persuade people to buy from you? What's unique about it? And then think if the topic is relevant to kind of your sales pitch, to your offering. If it is super relevant, if people should buy only from you when they're reading about X, then you should target it. If there's a general topic where you can hardly squeeze a mention of your product, you shouldn't pursue it, even if the difficulty is low, even if the search potential is high. Think about your business, think about the money that you're going to make.
So let me feed that back. A score of 3 says, for this topic, our tool is the only tool in the marketplace that can solve that problem that we're going to write about. A score of 2 says that our tool does it, but so do some other tools.
Yes.
And a score of 1 says our tool doesn't do it, and in fact, you might not even need a tool. So why would you write about that? Did I get that right?
Almost. The business potential of 1 means that we have a relevant tool. Like I'll give you an example. So if someone is looking to burn belly fat and you sell kettlebells, as far as my fitness knowledge goes, I don't see many like exercises with a kettlebell that would burn belly fat. So belly fat is quite a specific thing, but still belly fat is a fitness thing. So you can mention that, oh, by the way, I have I'm selling kettlebells, and you have some exercises that kind of help you burn belly fat, but not so directly. So this is business potential of 1.
Okay. And you'd mentioned in Ahrefs is it Site Explorer or Content Explorer? If I want to know what are the keywords or articles driving traffic to a site, I use Site Explorer?
Site Explorer, yeah. If you put any domain name, any website into Site Explorer, there's a report called Top Pages. It's on the left side, and it basically shows you a chart of pages and how much traffic they're bringing.
Okay. So I put in HubSpot.com just because we've been talking about them.
Yes.
Topic keyword. So HubSpot has their topic keyword. Their first result is HubSpot, not surprisingly.
Yeah.
Second is Amazon Associates, oddly enough.
Well, you're using HubSpot.com. I was using blog.hubspot.com. So you're looking at entire website. Well, I was looking at the blog only. I think their blog is on a subdomain. Okay, so try subdomain.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you mentioned that because it's important. The details are important. Yeah, there's the shrug emoji, number 2.
yeah, shrug emoji, that their next best thing.
And then how to make a GIF, how to create a graph, free email. Wow, none of this stuff is going to help HubSpot sell anything.
Yes.
So it looks good on paper to the non-SEO person. Oh, we're getting a lot of traffic, but it's garbage traffic.
Exactly. Huh. Well, try hrefs.com/blog and you'll see the kind of topics that we are targeting.
Okay. I forgot I should put the A in front of it. There we go. Okay. So free keyword tool, website traffic, top Google searches, submit a website to search engines, find an email address.
Well, find an email address is not
questionable.
Yes.
But the first 4 are the buyer's intent, the commercial opportunity. I forget what the phrase you used. Is obviously there's a huge correlation between what your tool does.
There's business potential. Yes.
Okay. So when you decided to write an article about free keyword tool, there's a lot of free keyword tools. There's nothing special about yours versus some other free keyword tool. So why the hell did you choose to write an article about free keyword tool?
Because there's business potential in it. So people who are searching for free keyword research tool, they might not have the budget right now to purchase Ahrefs, but they are in a stage where they learn about SEO. They do a little thing here and there. They get the results, they get some money, and they would like to invest into a premium tool. So what we did there, and if you click on that article, first we list some of our preferred keyword research tools, and then we explain people what's the difference between a free tool and the premium tool, and we showcase the power of our Keywords Explorer tool and explain why they should grab it. So basically, whenever a person is searching for a free keyword tool, we give them what they wanted. We give them free keyword tools that they can use right now, but we also educate them right there on why they might consider signing up for a premium tool. So once they grow their website a little bit, once their cash flow starts growing, they will know why they might consider signing up for a premium tool.
So in the on-page optimization for this article, you've got a top 10 lists at the top with links to, further sections. Does the algorithm look at that and give you extra points for doing that? Or is that just because it helps humans to read easier?
Yes, I don't really believe into any specific things that algorithm would look into, as much as I believe into things that will make people stick on your page, that will make them stick longer, read further, and not click any other search results.
So is that one of the reasons, for example, why you have a video very near the top? Because the video is engaging and they're likely to...
Exactly. So if someone is not a big reader, but they like just watching videos, because like it kind of feels like work, but you're still watching a video, they will just click play, and they will stay on our page for long. So Google will see that they're staying on our page, and Google will reward our article.
Okay, so here's a great segue for me, because I'm very interested in using YouTube and trying to create videos as a way of building my brand and building my audience. And in my space, it's very competitive. So if I was to, for each video because currently I just publish a video and I put it to YouTube, I don't write an article about it. So would it be, I'm thinking the answer is yes. So from an SEO perspective, if I write an article on my blog and I put that video at the top, that's going to help reduce bounce rate. And then I can get good quality video, good quality article, and promote it properly, get some backlinks. Am I going to get a double payback? Because some people are going to be finding my article and my video through Google search. They didn't start on YouTube. And then they're going to watch the video within the article on my blog, which scores a view on YouTube. Is YouTube going to start ranking that video higher just because it's getting views, even though it's from the embedded version of that video on my blog and nobody typed a search into YouTube itself?
Yes. So this is something we're seeing with our own YouTube channel. But the only thing that I want to stress on is that you should start from picking the topic first. So what a lot of people are doing, for example, they when they're doing podcast interviews or something, they will just take that interview, whether it's a video or a podcast, embed it on the page and create a page with a transcript, etc., and hope that it will rank. But usually all the podcasts, as this one as well, are not targeting any specific topics. So we're talking about SEO, but nothing in general. We're talking about this a little bit, that a little bit. So if you take this episode and create a page out of this episode, you won't get any search traffic because people are not searching for our interview.
Correct. So they're not searching for interview with Tim.
Yes. But if you take the topic of how to sell on Amazon, and then you will create a video about it, and the video and your article would cover more or less the same topic, and you will embed a video to an article. First, like you said, it will improve the time that people will stay on your page because some people prefer watching a video other than reading. And second, what we've noticed is that whenever you publish an article that has a video and people are watching a video that is embedded within an article, you're getting those views on your video, and YouTube sees that. They don't really care where the views are coming from, as long as you get a lot of views in those first 24 hours. So YouTube needs to see that the video is resonating with people, the video is trending, it is getting views. So it does help your YouTube videos to get exposure on YouTube as you embed them in your blog post and get views this way.
So with that said, it seems to me like it would also be a good strategy to go back and look at videos that I've published that have got more views, say the 5 most popular view in terms of view count, and then go write an article about those videos and try and make those some of my cornerstone content until such time as maybe I decide I'm going to bump those and replace them. Because this whole concept of cornerstone content, I guess your list of 20 could be somewhat of a dynamic list in that, okay, so I've got my 20, but then I create this video and it just goes crazy. So now I need to maybe not, I only have so many resources. So article number 20, well, you're going to fall off the bottom because now I'm going to make this new article because this video really took off. So very clearly it resonated with people. And now I'm going to create a kick-ass article to embed that video in. And that is now earned its way into my top 20 of cornerstone articles.
Yeah, that's more or less correct, but you have to understand that your articles get search traffic from Google and your videos go viral and collect views on YouTube for different reasons. So your article rank in Google and give you traffic from Google because people are actually going to Google, searching for something and finding your article. While with YouTube, they are incredibly good at exposing your video to the right audience if people keep watching. So I find myself, like, whenever I refresh a YouTube homepage and see the recommendations, I quite often see the videos of topics that I have never searched for myself, but based on other videos that I watched, YouTube knows that I'm going to watch this video, that it will be interesting to me. So your video, the topic that you covered in your video, it might have 0 search potential in Google, so no one will look to it. For example, a cute cat jumping from a sofa. I don't know. Yeah. People won't search for it, but it might go viral if that kitten will do a good job of jumping from the sofa. So yeah, you have to understand how did your video generate those views, and YouTube gives you statistics. So if most views are coming from YouTube search, if people are searching for it on YouTube and finding it, then the chances are a lot of people are also searching for the same topic in Google. So yeah, it makes sense to cover the topic on both mediums and merge them within the article. Yeah, it's a great strategy, and this is something that we're doing, as you just have seen with our keyword research tools post, and we actually have created videos and embedded videos for a lot of our articles. So there's a huge intersection between our YouTube channel and our blog. And it is quite easy because once you create an awesome piece of content on your blog, you can repurpose it into a great video. Or whenever you create a great video, you can easily repurpose it into your article. So it is easy to create the second version, the second version of your content on a different medium as soon as you have the content for an amazing article.
Okay. So I still want to go back to the selection, because it seems to me everything you're saying so far makes perfect sense, but it's still the selection, because we all have a finite amount of resources. So the selection of that first article and the second article and the third article are really, really important, because if you start making mistakes in the beginning and you're not getting results, you're going to give up, you're not going to do it, and the whole thing's a waste. So walk me through the process, because I understood commercial intent and the score of 1, 2, 3. That all made sense. But I could still have 20 or 30 keywords that were all a 3 according to your scoring system. And some of them I would be foolish to pursue and others I wouldn't. How do I figure out the difference?
I would just look at the number of backlinks to the top ranking pages. So, and I would compare. So in Ahrefs, you can plug your own website, and we have a report called Best by Links. So if you go there, Best by Links. So if you plug your own website and go to a report that is called Best by Links, you'll see how many backlinks the pages of your own website have attracted. So you'll see like how many, usually your homepage is the page with the most links, but from there you'll also see some articles, some category pages, product pages, or whatever. So this gives you an idea of how many backlinks you're able to attract in a best case scenario. And you probably know what you did for these backlinks to appear. So if you have a piece of content and it has 20 backlinks and you only promoted it to your list, you know that you got these 20 backlinks because like some people in your list have mentioned it on their websites. And actually, you can click on the number of backlinks and see where they're coming from. So where am I going with that? Once you research your own pages of your website, your blog, your e-commerce store, etc., and see where the backlinks are coming from so far, and go back in time to figure out what you did to acquire those backlinks, then when you'll be analyzing the top search results for the keyword that you want to pursue, you can see how many backlinks those pages have, because you can plug any page into Ahrefs and see how many backlinks it has and where exactly these backlinks are coming from. And then you make a decision. Are you able to get this many backlinks to your page? Or where these backlinks are coming from? Are they coming from bloggers? Are they coming from people mentioning that article on forums? So can you acquire the same backlinks? So it takes a little bit of trial and error to try to figure out like how to build backlinks, how to reach out to bloggers, ask them for a link, how effective that is, etc., etc., etc. But overall, the rule of thumb, if you're just starting out, of course, try to target topics that have decent business potential, that have decent search volume, and don't have a lot of backlinks pointing to the top ranking pages, because generating backlinks is quite hard. But as you grow, as your business grows, as your audience grows, you'll see that it becomes easier for you to generate backlinks, because, for example, Ahrefs is a brand already, so people are kind of inclined to link to us because they know our brand, they trust us, so they would rather link to us than to the other resource on the same topic. So eventually, with time, you'll find that it gets easier for you to generate backlinks because people in the industry know you, because people in the industry follow you. But as you're just starting out, just try to go after topics that don't have a lot of backlinks pointing at them. But as we just discussed, it doesn't mean that you have to ignore super competitive topics, because usually the super competitive topics are the ones with the most ROI. So I'd still create those articles on the super competitive topics early. I'd still early try to reach out to people in my industry with my articles to see their feedback. If they will say, meh, I don't like this article, there's nothing unique about it, okay, then you'll have to figure out how to make your article unique, what you can do to make those people interested in your article. So there's a little bit of everything. On one hand, you have to pursue topics that don't have a lot of backlinks. On the other hand, you have to pursue topics with a lot of backlinks, because this helps you understand how to build those backlinks over time and how to create a better piece of content over time.
So you could actually use this as an iterative testing process, the way I understand it. So let's say that one of my cornerstone topics is going to be how to sell on Amazon, and I know that's going to be a tough slog.
Yeah.
There's going to be other topics that are related to that I could link to that article. And so those topics are more fringe topics, less competition, less backlinks. And maybe rather than go and write this big cornerstone piece of content, I'm just going to say, well, I'm going to write one of these little jobs, one of these little articles, and see if I get, because there's not a lot of competition. Oh, look, I ranked for that one. Okay, well, let's run that test another time, and let's write another related article that all of these articles could point to my cornerstone content. So think of them like I've got my big pillar, and then I've got 10 articles surrounding my pillar. Each of the 10 articles around my pillar were relatively low competition, relatively easy to rank, not a huge project. And once I've written those 10, suddenly I realize, wow, now I kind of know what my cornerstone topic is, and I've got 10 different sources of content that I can use to drive traffic to that cornerstone piece, and I can put a video in it. So it all is, in my mind, as I'm having this conversation with you, it's all started coming together. It's a very methodical process.
Yeah, that's a great strategy right there. Yes.
Okay. We've been talking for a good long time, and this has been a very informative interview for me, to say the least. I think we could probably end up talking for much longer, but I also know that you have a YouTube channel that has a truckload of resources on it. So at this point in time, to continue the learning experience, let's send the people there. So the YouTube channel is, I imagine if they just go to YouTube and they type in Ahrefs, they're going to find your channel.
Yes.
Okay. And if anyone is listening to this, Tim, and they want to get in touch with you to talk about, a partnership of some kind, or, whatever, what's the one single easiest way to get in touch?
The single easiest way is to go to ahrefs.com/Tim, Tim. And this is a page where all my social media profiles, my email, and some of my best articles Some of my best podcast interviews are listed, so people can just go there, see some work I've done. Maybe they'll find out that there's not even point of reaching out to me because they found an answer to their question on that page. But yeah, everything is there, so feel free to connect and ask me any follow-up questions on Twitter. I'm usually the most responsive on Twitter.
One last question before we go. Building a page like the /Tim page that you just talked about, is there an SEO benefit to that? Does Google look at that and go, hey, this guy's got more authority because he's been in all these videos and he's been on these podcasts and he's written all these articles, or does Google already know that?
So I have no idea if they do this or not. So there's no SEO strategy behind creating that page as my kind of author or like person profile. Yeah. Other than simply whenever I go to podcasts or whenever I go to conferences and do live talks, I just send people to that page because that page is a good good caption of what I've done so far in the industry and how to connect with me on all different mediums.
Perfect. I'm going to make one of those for myself.
Awesome.
Okay, Tim, thank you so much for being on the show. It was far more interesting than I ever imagined it would be. And I'm definitely going to be taking action on some of the things that I learned from you. And I hope the audience does the same.
Awesome. I think it would be cool if you do act on all the advice that we discussed today. I think it would be awesome to reconnect in like a year and see your progress and discuss your mistakes and your achievements.
I will take you up on that, and probably what I will do is send you a very short email that says kind of here's my game plan over the next year, and I would welcome your feedback on that, and then I'll just start taking action with the game plan.
Awesome. I'll be happy to help you.
Wonderful. Okay, Tim, thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.